Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here at Tobago Updates. This morning we are having a special episode and we're coming to you live from the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport. This morning I have the pleasure of chatting with Assemblyman Joel Sampson. Good morning, who is actually now Secretary Sampson. Good morning and how are you doing?
Good morning, Madam Felix. I'm blessed and highly favored.
Right. Well, it is a pleasure to be here at the division with you this morning. And on my way into your office, I saw a lot of young people lining the staircases at the top floor. Just a lot of buzzing happening at your office this morning. Tell us what's going on.
Oh, well, those are the young persons engaged in the World of Work program that is run by the division. It targets young people between the ages of 16 to 18. So those that are now coming out of high school and, so we give them that opportunity to engage in meaningful work, and there are some inspirational persons coming through to, give them motivational chats and encourage them. I have had the privilege of having a conversation with them already, because at that age, they are looking for employment, they are looking to make something of themselves. So, this is a stepping stone towards achieving that goal. So, you try to encourage them, motivate them, give them the opportunities that we have to move into that next step, into that next direction.
Right. And what areas are you focusing on training the kids for the world of work? What fields are they being exposed to?
There's a wide range. Right. And if we had a chat about it, we will spend all day speaking about it. But just to touch on a few, there are a few tech work areas. So, we have like different areas in the sports department. So there are the field officers. And then there are those within the community development areas. So they get exposure to various community centers, how things function, how things operate, and that sort of sense as to where they want to go. So we have different areas. We have the legal office, we have the sports director's office. So they would be sent to different areas to get a sense of how it is to operate in such a space.
Right. And this is actually your first official interview as secretary. How has this transition been for you so far, coming from being an assistant secretary at the Division of Works, as we often call it, DIQUD? How has that transition to now community development been for you?
Well, the transition, it has been a good process. It's been good thus far. It hasn't been that hard. It's just a lot more responsibility, a lot more work. You have to read a lot more because there are a lot of documents that you'll have to sign off on. And when it comes to signing off on documents, you have to read and ensure what you are signing is certified correct and it's keeping with the law and the requirements of the division.
Right. And how has the transition in regards to relating with your colleagues here at the new division? How has the employees embraced you in this new position? How has that been?
Well, that has been great. That transition has been great. From day one, I felt the love as I walked into the space. And, you couldn't ask for a better feeling. The employees here, they embrace me. They appreciate what I bring to the table. I take daily walks throughout all the floors, go to various departments, greet the employees, talk to them, encourage them, motivate them. So, it has been good. It has been good and I'm enjoying it here.
All right, excellent. And how has it been for you working along with Assemblyman Wayne Clark as the Assistant Secretary within the division?
That relationship has been great. It has been great from day one because we go back way before the politics, way before all this. From the days of football, he was my coach. We had a good relationship then, and that has continued. So it's just a free flow,
Excellent. And how has the work been divided between you two? Is it that he is still focusing mostly on sport and you are dealing with the community development aspect of things, or have you guys kind of created a new strategy for how you want to approach what you want to achieve at the division?
Yeah, well, we have created a new strategy and, we have collaborated on everything. So we sit down and go through things together. He gives his buy-in, I give my buy-in. So, we have that sort of collaboration that makes everything seamlessly smooth. And, the process has been good thus far,
Okay.
He's been involved in everything. So we just work hand in hand together.
Excellent. So there's a team effort going on there
Yeah.
where both of you are on top of everything.
Yeah.
So when it comes to sport and sport development, we know that the Olympics are coming up very soon in Paris. How has Tobago really truly prepared our young athletes for events of this magnitude, and what are you planning to do to ensure that in future Olympics we have more Tobagonians present?
Well, I think they have done a lot of work. It has improved over the years. We have seen the standard improve. The level of competition, the quality of competition, and I think we just need to build on that. I think we need to just have more competitions on a regular basis. We don't have to compete for any monetary prize or anything to say, but the fact that our athletes are competing on a regular basis, it helps them prepare more. Because if you look at some of the other islands, other countries, the athletes, they're always competing, just to ensure that the athletes are prepared so they don't have to rush the last minute. So, we are looking into that approach so that our athletes could be better prepared. We are also willing to give them that support that they need, because the support is very critical. Because as an athlete, you need resources. And if you don't have that kind of resources to prepare for such an event or such a meet, you will not be at the standard that is required. So that support is very critical, and we are looking into that going forward.
Right, and you are taking over from Assemblyman Baines. Have you come in with a new vision, a new direction, or are you trying to pick up where he left off in terms of some of the plans, the goals, his objectives and agenda that he had for the division?
Well, my predecessor would have laid a strong platform, a strong foundation, and we have just decided to build on that and go forward. Just adding a few things to it, but whatever was set and put in place, we have started working on that foundation and moving forward, to make this division great again.
Excellent, and we would talk about that in greater detail after we get back, right after this break. See you soon, guys. Development, youth development, and sport, Mr. Joel Sampson, and we are back and we're talking about having your boots on the ground. Now, we saw that you have been traversing the community. I saw recently Dr. Faith posted on social media that you and he were at that community center within her district, and a number of other assemblymen posting. So, is it that one of the approaches that you're taking is to partner with the assemblymen and the other divisions to get work done, or to get their projects completed? Let us know why have we been seeing the communities? I mean, I know it's a part of the community development aspect of your portfolio, but what exactly is happening there?
This is teamwork, make with remote. And I've been visiting all the assemblymen districts to identify problems and issues at the community centers and sporting facilities, because we know that maintenance is an ongoing thing. So we have to ensure that our centers and our fields are up to scratch, up to a standard that they are supposed to. So that these site visits basically treat with that, so we can identify the problem. So if our football field needs some rectification, on the site visits we have the PIU unit there with us, so they can identify this is what is needed to be done. So after that, we come back, we do a scope of works, and we put things out and have the training in motion.
And one of the areas as well when you traverse these communities are the facilities, the sporting facilities that have also fallen under your purview. Do you have the financial capacity as we speak to do the type of repairs and upkeep that is necessary to keep these facilities at a standard that it needs to be?
You always have issues with resources, but you have to learn to balance and contract. You have to prioritize what is important, what is critical at the moment, and treat to them one by one. I know Tobago would love to have everything fixed all at once, but unfortunately we're not in a position that we can have it all fixed at once. But we can start somewhere, and we can have that ball rolling and keep it rolling until we get to where we want it. So we look at the field, we have the TFA coming up, the Tobago Football Association, and we will identify the grounds by the TFA, so we could ensure and have those sorted out and in a proper order, make sure the facilities aligning with them are in order for use by the teams, also by the public, and that is how we will treat with things. So, we take it as it comes. We sit down, the assistant secretary along with myself and the rest of the team at the division, and see what is priority and see where we can utilize whatever funds we have to get it fixed.
Right. And in a recent conversation with I Choose Sports TT, they would indicated that there was a camp going on, a type of sport camp, as well as a school tour that was happening. During that conversation, they indicated that one of the capabilities that they have is to upkeep facilities and offer tools, equipment to clubs, right? And this is an initiative that's under the Ministry of Sport. Have you had any of those conversations with the MP for Tobago West and the Minister for Sport, Shamfa Kaju, on possible areas for collaboration, seeing that they have this under their purview as well as the budget that is needed? Because you have indicated that finances and resources, is really what holds us back here in Tobago from being able to attain the type of development that is needed. Are you having those conversations with them?
Well, to date, we haven't had a conversation of yet. I'm sure we will, because we have a good working relationship and collaboration is always key. So I think the office reached out to mine and we would have a courtesy call from us sometime soon so we can sit down and have a conversation and treat with these issues.
Right. And when it comes to collaborations in regards to the sporting facilities, giving the clubs the type of opportunities and exposure that they deem fit, is this an area that you want to focus on and have that continuous working relationship with the ministry to grow?
Yeah, it's an area I have to look at very closely and ensure that we have those collaborations. Because when you look at it, we are one country, we are Trinidad and Tobago. Mm-hmm. And it makes no sense, us as leaders, fighting against one another. Teeth and tongue will always meet, but you have to ensure that you collaborate so the people on the ground can see, hey, despite of party affiliation, these people can work together for the greater good of the country and the way the country is at the moment, that's needed. So any collaboration that will indeed benefit Tobago, benefit us going forward as a people, I'm all for that.
Well, it seems like you have an excellent relationship with the minister, is that so?
Yeah, we have a good relationship from way before all this politics and all that, and we have maintained that relationship and respect for one another.
Yes, because I think I saw you guys at Kick It with Karen in Plymouth, having a little tete as the people say, a laugh, and it's always good to see that, persons can put that political connection aside and really do what is necessary for the people. But when we look at what your goals are and what you are trying to achieve, you have a short space of time to achieve that within this first tenure in office before possibly a next term in office. Mm-hmm. What do you want to be the trademark of your time in office as Secretary for the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport?
Well, I have intended to bring a vibe, so this whole thing. And the vibe is sort of like an acronym. So the VIB is like a village inclusiveness boost economical sustainability. So we are looking at the development of communities to become more sustainable, prosperous and resilient, with strengthened efficiency to prevent violence, improve safety and manage their growth and stuff like that. So, when I leave this office, when I demit office, when my term comes to an end, people must look back and say, yes, they achieved what they set about.
And you brought the vibe.
Yes, and I brought the vibe. The platform was laid by my predecessor, and I just moved on that and continued. And just brought that vibe, that it's needed in this place.
I'm glad that you touched on the issue of violence in the community, because that is something that we have seen a surge in crime on the island of Tobago. What has the division been doing, or who have you been collaborating with to try to tackle this issue?
Well, thus far, the team and I have sat down and we have come up with some strategies and some plans that I mentioned. Just one to name a few that we will touch on a bit later on in the program, to ensure that we bring the communities back together, that love, that unity that we once had, how we can treat with issues, or we can find out what are the underlying problems leading to these crimes. You know, there has to be some psychological problem. It just doesn't happen. Crime just doesn't happen overnight. You don't just get up and decide that I'm going to commit a crime. There has to be factors leading up to such. And we have to sit down and come up with strategies and plans to ensure that if I am safe, you are safe.
Excellent. And when we talk about combating crime, there are many aspects of that. You know, there's the aspect of education, there's the aspect of access and, you know, poverty. But there are a number of initiatives that are currently happening in the communities, courses for young persons to become engaged, whether it be with technical, vocational skills, or whatever it may be. But there is still the cry that we don't know what's happening in the community. Although all of this is happening, we don't know when it starts. It's the same set of people that go all the time. There's no one who's walking throughout the village and coming and knocking on our doors like long time and saying, hey, all you come on by the community center because it have things going on there. And so the young person, specifically the boys on the corner, are feeling a bit out of touch with what is happening to engage them. What type of strategies have you come up with or are you thinking about to really get them to engage in these programs? Because providing the programs is one thing, but actually getting persons to participate to make that, you know, transition into being a skilled individual. How are you doing that?
Well, we've had some conversation and we've decided that we have to get the workers out on the ground. We can appreciate the fact that a lot of persons gravitate to social media, and we do have ads all the time on social media. There are the pages on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and these things, you know, and persons see them. But sometimes, as you mentioned, you know, it's good to go on the ground, be among them, encourage them, let them know, hey, we have this program going on at this community center. You can benefit from it. And these are things that we are looking into. I know one of my colleagues recently said to me that she wanted to start something like that. So we identify the blocks, we go out and have a sit down and chat with them, you know, get a better sense of how they feel and what they would like to see or what they would like to have happen within the community. So I think that's something that we would start in a very short time.
Well, we look forward to that. But we're going to take a break right here and we'll be back right after this. See you soon, guys. Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. I am Shenell Felix, and this morning I have been chatting with the Secretary for Community Development, Youth Development and Sport, Mr. Joel Sampson. Good morning and welcome back. Now, since you've gotten into office as Secretary, you have had somewhat of a mindset towards shaping the mentality of men and giving back or contributing to building men within the community. Tell us about some of the initiatives and what really prompted this move for you.
Right. So since I've gotten here, we have kept something called Man Cave. You know, it was targeting the men. You know, I tried to do something for the men working at the division because we have to appreciate the fact that women are more celebrated than men worldwide. Even if you look at the list of holidays and where they rank, Father's Day is ranked somewhere about 20th on that list.
Right.
So I appreciate the fact that men need to be treated in a sort of way, you know. Men tend to get demotivated quickly. So I indicated to the administrator and the staff here that we have to do something to show appreciation to our men. So we put our heads together and we came up with the initiative Man Cave. It was a wonderful evening, but you know, the women always tend to end up within the men's settings. You know, they tend to always try to overrule and control things, but it was a wonderful evening. You know, it was different from the ordinary setting. You know, sometimes you keep something for men and they come, they have some drinks, they have some food, but this setting was different. It was a more relaxed environment. So they engage in all fours, dominoes, draft, table tennis, they had some video games, we had pool. I know it had a lot of interaction, you know, we had some live entertainment. So the men really felt good about it. The response and feedback after was excellent. It was high of praise because, you know, they've never got the opportunity to have something of such. And we have to continue to motivate our men because they are leaders. And we have to continue to encourage them.
And there's something else coming up. There's the Macho Men Talk to us about that. What exactly is that about? You say it's about building unbreakable bonds, but what exactly is that Macho Men? What is the initiative about?
Well, the macho men again, it's targeting fathers and sons, father figures and young boys within our society. Because you have to appreciate the fact that things have changed a lot. And we have to do something to build back that bond, create back that unity. So on Saturday, from between the hours of 2 to 9 p.m. at the Speyside Recreational Ground, we're going to have that macho. We're going to roll that out. It's going to be a fun-filled afternoon. We're going to have activities. We're going to have some all-fours, some small goal football. We're going to have a free health clinic at the event. We're going to have some men's talk, some motivational speakers would be there to speak to the men, because I think that is needed in society. The mentality of the men back in the days to the mentality now has changed a lot. And we can see that by all the things that have been happening in community and in society. So we are just trying to target that, We're not forgetting the women. There are things will come for the women, but we have to gain hold of our young men in society, especially the ones that are easy led astray. So we are using this opportunity to target that and to kind of bring back that unity and love that we once had.
Okay, and as we talk about developing the young male, what about the young men within your district? How have you been engaging with them directly, specifically where employment is concerned?
Well, I've been trying my very best, and anyone you come into contact with would say that to you. Whether it is there's an opportunity in the division I can assist with, I try my best. If there's nothing in the division, I reach out to all the business places within my community. So, I would call and ask if they have any employment opportunities, what positions you have available, and I would direct persons. I've even found myself doing up applications for a lot of persons for some of these jobs, and they have been getting through, They are appreciative of the fact that half a loaf is better than no loaf. So you get something now that still brings in some income until something better comes along. So I try very hard because, a lot of young people, everyone wants employment. It's a heavy burden. It's not easy, but I try my best to assist, not just in my district alone, but across the space of Tobago.
Now, during that budget debate, touching on that half loaf being better than no loaf, you spoke about that 10 on, 10 off program and getting individuals in the community engaged in that. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, especially for the persons who did not even know that it was happening? What exactly is that program about?
Well, we could understand and appreciate the fact that there's a shortfall in staff at the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. Mm-hmm. And then there was an overburden of work, on the side of the streets. You see the overgrown hemmings and the bushes and stuff like that. The drains needed cleaning and they needed some extra manpower, man-force to get that done. So, we came up with the idea of doing this program. It's nothing new in this space. They always had the 10 on, 10 off programs from way back in the days, because when it comes to employment in this division, the union has to ensure that the permanent listing cadre is rectified before you can take persons. But in the meantime, we did something so that, we can create some opportunities, give some hope to these people, knowing that going forward, there are opportunities that would come and that would ensure they can provide and put some food on the table.
So did you spearhead this initiative as Assistant Secretary while you were there?
Well, it was a collaboration with myself and the Secretary,
okay.
Who always has that vision for stuff like this. We put our heads together and we rolled it out.
Okay. And are there any other initiatives that you have coming up that we should be looking forward to?
Well, we are working on some things in the background, and as soon as we are completed, I'll be sure to share with you. This office, I have an open door policy so persons can come in, they can get information, find out what they need to. So, Tobago Update's always free to come by.
All right.
So when we have all these other things rolling out, which is in very short, probably within the next month, I will have you guys come back. I'll have most of the team here so that we can let Tobago know what is happening and what we have coming up.
Right. And specifically to know, when I walked in your office this morning, there was a lot of rice and peas and, we saw the food items, right? So tell us about that. Tell us about that particular initiative from you. Is this just from your office or is this something that the division does? How is it structured?
Well, when I came into office, I understand the fact that COVID would have damaged us. You know, a lot of persons that have been on the breadline, a lot of persons still haven't recovered from the effects of that pandemic. So I indicated to the staff that we have to do things to assist. There are persons that are struggling. And we are currently doing some food drives, and we are reaching out to every electoral district. So we have had one recently. We have had a few items remain. Those are items that remain back from the effects of burial. You know, we had some canned stuff, some biscuits, some tea, milk and stuff. So, you know, we distributed them along with other supplies from TEMA to the centers that facilitated people during that time. And it's something that we will continue to do.
But is it possible for persons that are in need to reach out to the division directly to receive a hamper?
Well, persons can reach out, you know, and we will take the information, and when we do the drives again, they would be first in line to, you know, receive what we offer, you know, so that is possible.
All right. And as we wrap up this morning's conversation, is there anything in particular that you want to share with Tobagonians and kind of have them on the lookout for?
Well, Tobago, I'm a young, vibrant individual with a lot of ideas. I have a great team working alongside me, the assistant secretary, the administrator, and all the workers in the division. So we are putting some plans in place that, you know, will push Tobago forward, will help us to achieve that greatness, help us becoming the greatest little island on the planet. So you can look out to those initiatives. Also, I want to state to the young persons in Tobago, don't give up hope. There is always hope. We just have to keep praying, fall on our knees and call on God, and He will guide us and He will see us through. So don't give up. We are here for you. Not say He's here to support you. You can come to Him anytime. He's always willing to support 100%. So stay grounded, and you'll hear more from us in the coming future.
All right, guys, well, you heard it right here. The secretary for the Division of Community Development and Youth Development and Sport. Unfortunately, this morning we couldn't get to chat with the assistant secretary, Mr. Clark, but we are still sending good morning to him wherever he is. And we want to thank you guys this morning for being a part of the discussion. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and for doing all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster. Again, Secretary, we want to thank you for allowing us into your space this morning, you know, giving us coffee, giving us tea. It was good. It was nice. Thank you for accommodating us. And I want to also thank the teams that were here this morning earlier, Adana Kambi and everyone who made this morning's show possible. Again, we want to thank you and have a great day.